Define yourself. Will you impact the future? Will you lead the pack? Will you engage the world? Will you find the cure? Will you be the hope? So, will you? Come see how St. John students are changing the world every day. Visit us today.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UCONN, UCONN. Forever making our mark. Forever making UCONN a part of us.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to some EGFC Rocket League. I am Septilins, joined by Soy, and we have the pleasure of bringing you through the remainder of tonight. We've got 4 great series coming at you, starting with St. John's and UCONN. And Soy, we were talking a little bit about this before we went live. This absolutely has potential to be one hell of a game.
Yeah, this is a Big East battle that both teams could really use for that playoff push. UConn at 9-4, they've really gotten off to a slow start this split. After an 8-0 start, those roster changes have really affected them. And St. John's, they've been on a tear ever since the start of this split. They're trying to make that last second playoff push at 5-8. It's not quite in their favor, but if they win out, they've got a very good chance.
Like you said, and a huge part of the reason I think this has the potential to be so close is because of UConn's roster changes. Things are falling a little bit rougher on their side. They're still warming up for these new teams and these new players to be coming in. St. John's, as we mentioned, not having the greatest season so far, gunning for that last second playoff position, and tonight would be a great way to keep that ball rolling. So we're going to be jumping into game in just a minute. And of course, as everybody watching probably knows, this is a traditional Rocket League first to 3 series. So we're going to have to see which one of these teams walks away with those 3 games first. And I think truly, Soy, a lot of the time I'm talking about, game 1 isn't that important. I think game 1 tonight for these teams is going to be very important because it's going to establish a dominance early.
Yeah, no, absolutely. These teams really like to both get off to hot starts. I mean, the majority of their victories both ways are 3-0 sweep. The longer this series goes, I think the more it plays. The longer the series sweep. They're 2-2 in game 4, 1-2 in game 5s, and both of those losses were this split. So, like you said, game 1, it's important to get their offenses going early.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have to do a little bit of a server restart. I think we've got a ping issue one way or another. I think we have to get a little bit of confirmation. We'll be back. You guys know how it goes. Yeah, you just get to look at us a little bit more. And I actually want to talk about the ping may take away from kind of any analysis we could make there, but we saw that early dominance from UConn. We saw them go right for the ball off kickoff. We saw them go in out the gate looking for that opportunity to strike, and it was Primal on the side of St. John's that had an immediate answer to that offense. I'm hoping that continues. I'm hoping that wasn't just because of the ping, and I'm really hoping that St. John's can come out and meet the aggression UConn brings out, or honestly, they're probably going to get walked over.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Big East. We talk about it all the time. Those offenses are just so explosive, lightning in a bottle. For UConn, I think the keys are those substitutes have to play very well. Anton has been the rock of this team for a very long period of time, but JS Dina and Red Pants have been so explosive in the past. JS Dina, I think in particular, is kind of that follow-through player, the one that has to be the kind of sniper for this offense in order for the Huskies to really get going. And on the flip side of that, you mentioned Primal. Justin Time is another great player for this roster. When he gets going, the Red Storm get really hard to stop. And so those are the players that I think are the X factors for this matchup.
Yeah. The X factors of the matchup definitely have X's on their backs as well, right? They're going to be the targets, the demos we're going to see most likely onto these expected players, because if you interrupt their momentum, obviously they're not going to be able to pop off. So it's going to be all about finding that momentum here, jumping right back in. This is a game 1. We just had to reset it. So we're back into game 1 here. St. John's versus UConn. This game 1 going to be unbelievably important. Immediately, once again, UConn off the kickoff, but a much sloppier one. It goes straight into the center field. The follow-up coming out from the side of UConn. Now they're looking for a goal early, Soy, but it's Primal. The same story 2 sets in a row there. It's Primal trying to be that space maker early. However, only so much space can be made. Begonjator is going to be able to find that. Primal able to block out that secondary attempt onto goal as well. St. John's have got ball control. Can they?
Good defense there.
Capitalize off the back, but it's up and
The air dribble in front of the net. Red Pants with the shot off the net and wide. UConn, their offense, what I think it really thrives off of is the chemistry between all three players. It's about all three players moving upfield and finding those passing lanes, and UConn starting to find that kind of footing here early. They're using, they're making great use of the space that they're given. St. John's, you've got to find a way to clear this ball cleanly. You're seeing them try and use the sideboards to try and get this chance, and there's a good shot towards the back post, and they'll score!
I mean, good turns to great there. So what a phenomenal coordination, what phenomenal follow-up from the side of St. John's. McGaughan is there to catch that ball out, sees that open shot, and UConn, they're going to fall just a little bit short. They're close, but unfortunately not close enough. St. John's going up 1 point early here in Game 1.
You saw there that clear off the sideboards, just making great use of the space that you're given. UConn, they like to move all three members up, and they get beat over top because of it. Speaking of, here again in transition, off the wall and out and away. Well cleared away, but this is going to give St. John's possession.
St. John's has possession for just a moment. Dinah is going to be there to snatch it right back away. McGaughan trying to get up and through that midfield, but getting constantly barraged back into their own back third. Just in time, looking for an opportunity to strike. Red Pants going above, possibly beyond, but Primal there to catch it out above goal. Once again, the secondary attempt already coming through. McGaughan is going to be there to catch it out. Red Pants, though, just such an up-close and personal offense. Justin now playing a second goalie. Primal desperate to get it away from that back third, but UConn continuously slamming this ball toward goal.
Just shot after shot right now. Slow one on, but another big save there. And St. John's, the defense right now, weathering the storm as UConn continues to pepper this net. But it's important to note, UConn, they're approaching it almost the same way. These shots are being kept to the outside, and they're making it easier to save than a more difficult play that could be made. What a save there from Anton.
The saves so far have been the name of the game. We're seeing some pretty good offense, but notably stronger defense from both teams right now. A lot of aggression coming out here on the side of UConn, and St. John's always there to respond, to the exact vice versa there against St. John's. Their offense has not been able to crack through only once, and I would say a little bit of luck factored into that goal as well. Ball centered right back into the midfield. Anton going to have a great setup. Is there a follow-up? Unfortunately, it's going to get blocked away, not able to line up that ball on goal.
There's a great chance, though, that waterfall down, put it right in front of the box, and you know UConn loves to attack that backboard, but look at how quickly St. John's is able to respond, finding these big booming clears and forcing UConn back. They're forcing UConn to retreat and march the whole field to generate chances like that as Red Pants can't snipe the corner.
Red Pants cannot catch the corner. Dinah is going to go for an opportunity to strike off the far side. That secondary isn't even going to get a chance to get near goal. St. John's pressuring Dinah out, forcing ball control back into their own favor. 90 seconds remain on the clock, and Soy, the amount of games we've seen won by a single point, that would certainly not be unusual. Dinah able to find that demo onto McGaughan, and now Red Pants looking for another attempt to strike, but unfortunately the follow-up not there in time. Blocked out by Justin.
Huge block by Justin. That was a brilliant chance, and he had to dive across and just trying to guess at where that ball was going to be. But this is a great pass in front, and Anton will score!
Anton getting through that defense on the side of St. John's. A phenomenal goal to come through, keeping the dream alive for UConn. Only 72 seconds left on the clock. UConn's tied it up. They're going to try to prevent this overtime as quickly as they can.
And that is the danger of peppering the net. You force the defense to make play after play after play, and they just don't have the boost in the tank to get back in time. And that passing lane, too. J.S. Dina with a great passing play to find Anton right down Main Street.
Anton caught out, like you said. Now Anton catching a few out, able to find that demolition early, opening up a 3v2 in favor of UConn. A double attempt from the side of UConn, unfortunately, does not connect. Anton now taken out by Justin, 3v2 in favor of St. John's. Anton looking to get the ball out of goal. Dinah trying to find it up and above, sending it toward the back third of St. John's, but I've got to say, St. John's, right place, right time, every time. They're doing such a good job remaining unpredictable and remaining aggressive, forcing UConn to continuously adapt.
UConn doing a decent job of adapting. That's a good pass over top, and Primal's in an odd spot here. He's going to have to make this save. Red Pants' shot, crossbar and down. The rebound, can't find the touch, and Anton will corral possession.
Oh, finally, Dyna with 13 seconds left on the clock, going to be able to put that goal away. An unfortunate moment here for St. John's. They kept the leader, they kept it tied for quite a while, but as that goal becomes wide open, nobody from St. John's able to capitalize. UConn sneaking in that second goal.
Pinch pass off the wall was brilliant too, kind of forces the defense to rethink where that ball is going to go. It's such a tough read, and now a short time remaining. St. John's, they've got to find a way to gather up possession here.
St. John's with only 3 seconds left, things are certainly looking bleak for them, but I'm hesitant to use the word bleak because even losing by a single point against UConn, I mean, is a great showing of what St. John's can bring to the table here later today. I mean, we're going to be seeing Game 1 go in UConn's favor, but St. John's, they have shown signs of life. They have shown potential, and I highly suspect that we see this series go past the 3 game.
It is very close between these two. Just the slight mistake there towards the end of the game allowed UConn to grab the advantage. But again, you look at that scoreboard, look at Anton, how important he is to this team. He is the guy that is constantly pushing the pace, getting the ball downfield. And you saw in that last play, he was the one making that pinch pass off the boards, setting up those passing lanes for the Huskies.
And I've got to say, passing for the Huskies, I think, is maybe the name of the game. Getting a look now here at the scoreboard after the game, it's fascinating to realize that UConn had 15 shots on goal. So it is going to be shocking to hear that St. John's had 4. With how insane that game felt, with how intense that game felt, neck and neck, back and forth, it is absurd to consider that UConn scored or shot on goal over 3 times more than what St. John's was able to.
And not only that too, but for UConn in particular, right, that is the way they like to play. They like to attack the backboard and they like to try and find those passing lanes. The key is, though, for St. John's, the reason they kept it so close, the fast-paced play. Primal and Just in Time and Begon Jada were all over the midfield pressure. But when UConn had the space to work with, you saw they were able to pepper the net. And like you said, when they were able to put up that many shots, not all of them were on net. You saw numerous times they tried to hit that perfect corner shot and it just goes off the boards and gets sent away. If they start getting more accurate, this defense, it's really going to have to pick up the pace.
Yeah. And I want to talk about as well, UConn playing that peppering play style, one that we see quite often with our higher ranked teams here in the EGFC, because we're seeing a lot of aggression with their offense, right? But they've got to be careful because there is a massive hole in that plan. It takes St. John's getting that ball out of their possession one time. It is an open goal on the other side of the field. So it's going to be UConn playing a pretty traditional play style, but one that I do believe can be exploited pretty aggressively.
And you saw that a little bit in game number 1, right? Only 4 shots on goal, but they were able to bury the first one that they were able to put on net, as that's a difficult save for Begon Jader. And the second one off the post again, and UConn just continuing to pressure on offense by just saying throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the net.
They're going to continue to try and do so. Now they're trying to get the ball away from their own goal. St. John's finally showing some signs of life once again on the offense. Begon goes up and through, but oh, what a block from Red Pants. I think that would have bounced off the side of goal anyway, but I think St. John's not going to be able to follow up as much as they'd like to due to that interruption from Red Pants. Primal now trying to turn ball control around. Red Pants there to catch it out. It's up and above in the center field. The opportunity to strike is here for UConn. JS Dyna going to go for the opportunity, but Begon is there to catch it out once again. Already a minute off the clock, about 10 seconds away from where that first goal happened in Game 1.
You're seeing UConn, again, just can't quite cut these angles properly there. Red Pants, it's a good shot, but again, off the backboard, they're working kind of left to right, taking these hard angle shots, trying to find these centering passing lanes, but now St. John's has kind of pinched down on the middle of the field. They're saying you have to take these outside shots. You have to take these more difficult angles because we're not going to give you Main Street anymore.
Yeah, the crossbar favoring no player, and we have seen that quite a few times against UConn already. I think twice in this game alone, we've seen the crossbar interrupt what could have been an open goal for them. Now, a phenomenal catch from Anton in the center field, looking for the opportunity to flip UConn's momentum, flip ball control in their favor. Red Pants there with the secondary off the corner. Can Dyna finally knock it in? Begon there to move all momentum up instead of out, and it's going to disrupt that goal once again.
And continuing to launch this ball towards the backboard. It's the hardest place for the defense to really get to because they have to avoid their own crossbar if they're coming out of their own back net. You're seeing now St. John's, they've got a man there on that backboard, ready to corral that ball rather than try and contest it in the air. But the problem is they haven't had a whole lot of time to get their offense going.
Yeah, and time is obviously the name of the game, right? Every game only 5 minutes. That feels like a pretty short amount of time, but to these players, it can be an eternity. And if you can't get your offense working, if you can't get those wheels turning, it's going to feel even longer. Anton with a phenomenal shot on goal, but Begon playing that simple defense was right there when they needed to be, catches the ball out. And as we enter the second half, Soy, I'm looking for that second half buff just like that. Begon from beyond the grave is going to put that goal down. Let's get another look at the play here. Dyna gets ball control. Begon there to knock it straight away, eats the demolition, but nobody was there to catch the ball. Accidental? Yes. Fortunate? Absolutely.
And those are the dangerous plays, right? It seems safe to kind of carry that ball along the wall, but sometimes you lose that challenge to the power of the Dominus, and it goes right into your own net. Look at the angle here from Dyna, the rebound, they score! Red Pants ties it up.
I mean, UCONN, that felt effortless. They really just walked that bad boy in there. Dyna walked it up close and personal off the crossbar, and Red Pants right there to capitalize off the back. I wanted that second half buff, Soy, and it looks like we are already going to be getting it. A huge upset from both sides right now. 1 point on the board. We are reset back to that complicated 0-0.
And a quick miscue there on the defensive side allows that goal to happen. Here, Anton, that's a dangerous touch in front, and guess who? It's Primal in front of the net.
When I said a second game buff, or a second half buff, this is not what I was expecting. I mean, my goodness, these players are coming to life here in the end of game one. And it's important to note that, you know, St. John's, they need this game win. They want to make it 1-1 on the series, because if they're staring down a 2-0 barrel, that's where things get scary. With only 2 minutes left on the clock, we've got almost half the game. So while St. John's is up by 1 right now, UCONN, they've got an eternity to tie things back up.
Gotta try and find a way to get things done. Another hard angle shot by Red Pants saved away. That one's dangerously close to the net, but JS Dina will be able to corral it for just a moment and gets it over top of one, but no boost in the tank. Red Pants is gonna have to rotate through here, and you're seeing this UCONN offense. It's trying to find a way to get back to the center of the field. They're gonna have to make these kind of stretch passes a bit more if they're gonna want to do that. What a pass!
Stretch passes, Soy. I mean, oh my goodness, what a phenomenal pass there from Red Pants right into Dyna. The goal wide open, and now UCONN, they tied things up. Took them about a minute, but with 90 seconds, 84 to be specific, 86 left on the clock, it's going to be super important that St. John's does, let's be honest, much of anything. They've got to get this momentum back, but UCONN doing such a good job of stealing it so often.
UConn's been on offense for what feels like 3 out of the 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
And their offense, I mean, it still has 2 goals on the board, but you can't score if you don't have the ball. And right now, UCONN just dominating this possession game.
Yeah, and let's be honest, one of those St. John's goals, dumb luck, right? That was just a very fortunate situation. It's going to be able to tie things up, but nobody walks away from Rocket League with a tie. All that's going to do is force overtime, let us live a little bit longer. Anton trying to prevent just that, taking that goal out, going for the opportunity to strike, but now blocked away. 50 seconds on the clock. 2-2 tie up here, and like I said, St. John's, they desperately want to avoid a 2-0 situation.
The UCONN on match point is a very dangerous prospect to be in, and they can smell blood in the water right now. The problem is, St. John's, as much as they're trying to stop these centering passes, they're not able to clear the ball. All of these passes, all these clears off the wall are just giving possession right back. It's giving UCONN enough time to go back, gather boost, or at least enough boost to challenge these kind of midfield clears. St. John's, they need to find the pocket. They need to find the one space that the Huskies aren't covering.
That one space needs to make its face known in about 5 seconds here, Soy, or we are most likely going into that overtime. It's going to be a 2-2 tie-up in the second that ball touches the ground. That is a full-blown reset. For those who may not know, overtime, the timer begins to count up rather than down, and we will sit here as long as we need until somebody puts that third goal away and wins out here in Game 2. Right now, it's St. John's with a great ball control, but it's going to be Dyna up and above, able to get a little bit of pressure out, headed toward the goal. All 3 defenders already in sight for the side of St. John's. Pressure's going to be on UCONN, going for an open goal. Anton from up and above, caught out by Begon, but the ball going to go straight in front of goal. Oh, this UCONN, they're playing it slow, Soy, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, flip reset off the backboard. Red Pants with the shot, but Begon Jader with a huge read. And now look how quickly St. John's knows they have to get this ball down the field. They have to buy their defense some time and see if they can get anything going. Primal, that's a good 50. This ball is still loose at midfield. Primal wants the bump. Where's the defense?
Oh!
No one's in front. They'll score. St. John's has tied the series.
Where was UCONN? What just happened? Where did they go? Red Pants and Dyna are right there. Oh, Red Pants jumps just a little bit too late. JS Dina not able to catch that out, but Soy, as a wise man once said, we absolutely take those. St. John's, they are able to tie the series up 1-1. Off the back of, let's be honest, a little bit of luck, but they win regardless. The skill is absolutely there, and moving into Game 3, this truly has so much potential to end up in either team's court.
There's an old saying my high school lacrosse coach told me that said, you know, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You can tell UConn, they pressured for so long in this game, but they got a little lazy on a couple of their clears, and it gave the ball right back to St. John's when they needed it the most. Right there in overtime, defense wasn't ready for the simple bounce, and it just goes right into the back of the net, and all of a sudden, we have a guaranteed Game 4 on our hands.
Guaranteed Game 4 to kick off the night, and I am unbelievably stoked to say that. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen anything other than a 3-0, so I'm very eager to see what's brought to the table. Not only would St. John's winning here be an insane upset, but by golly, would it just be entertaining, and entertainment is, at the end of the day, what this is all about. UConn definitely stoked to find that third goal, kicking St. John's up to a 1-1 scoreline against UConn. And moving into Game 3, Soy, I mean, what do you want to see from these teams if they want to walk away with a win?
Well, for the side of St. John's, I think you got to feed the beast that is Begone Jader. He has been playing fantastic. I mean, all throughout the season, I think he's one of the most improved players from St. John's from last season, because this is generally the same roster that we saw last season, and they only got 2 wins last season. They were at the bottom of the barrel in that Big East Conference, and now you see them, you know, still in contention for the playoff race, and I think Begone Jader is a huge reason why.
Yeah, Begone Jader has been a real powerhouse player on the side of St. John's, able to get a lot of momentum and keep this team, keep the dream, rather, alive. And I completely agree. They need to keep Begone just large and in charge, constantly in control of that ball and toward those goals on the side of UConn as often as possible. From UConn, I think you nailed it with that previous analysis as well. We just need to see them play a little bit more on top of things. There were a few opportunities where they felt maybe 3 seconds behind, but in the world of Rocket League, 3 seconds is more than enough.
You can see here, JS Dina, that's a great pass play, but it's from far out, and it's easily and quickly cut off. These reads for the defense are a lot simpler, and UConn's offense right now, it has been forced to the corners and the sideboards a whole lot more. It's making these reads very simple for the defense to make.
Already a minute 20 gone, and honestly, it's like a blink and you miss it moment. These teams so back and forth, the ball control so continuously aggressive. I mean, I feel like I'm still waiting for somebody to get ball control, Soy.
It's punching back and forth too, because both teams just want to get this ball into the opponent's half. It's similar to hockey, where you just want to dump it into the zone and chase after it, play that physical game, see if you can get the ball back. But in this case, teams have been so clean so far at, you know, gathering up enough possession, or at least enough time to just find that open pocket that we didn't see in game number 1 or 2.
Oh no. Okay, I was going to say, St. John's maybe getting a little bit complacent with UConn's performance there. I thought that was actually going to be a sneak attack from Anton to put away that first goal, but now only 20 seconds shy off the clock here from that second half entering. And we saw what the second half buff can do for these players. I mean, came to the second half, had more points than we have seen all day so far. I mean, it was an absolute bloodbath across the board, but it's going to be 2:35 on the clock, still sitting at that goose egg on both sides.
I like the idea there from Primal. He had a pretty decent shot, but he couldn't quite put it on net. That's a good demo there from Anton. The pass is there. The angle from JS Dina, again, just cuts it too hard, and it goes wide of the net.
Going a bit wide, but a bit is all these players need sometimes. Preventing that goal from coming through is exactly the momentum boost that we needed to see. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. It's nobody finding ball control still. As I say it, though, UConn almost sneaks it in. Thank goodness. Thank the Rocket League gods that Begone was there to catch that out. We saw a jump come through, I believe, from Primal, and Begone was there to catch it directly underneath. 1:53, an insane back and forth, and this may be a 0-0 overtime at this rate.
I mean, neither team can really generate a great chance. You saw a good chance on that last UConn drive from that passing play. The problem was all 3 members of the Red Storm are sitting there in their own net, so even if the shot's on, you got 3 people ready to defend it. If you're UConn, you've got to make better utilization of the space. There's the pass, and oh my goodness, Primal, what a save!
St. John's once again, just right place, right time, and we're getting to the point where I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask for more physicality from these players. We need to see more aggression. We need to see more demolitions, and we need to see more just bumping, up close and personal gameplay. Or we need to see a goal just like that one. Red Pants with the pass into JS Dyna, putting the first goal away for UConn. With only 73 seconds left on the clock, Soy, St. John's is going to have to kick it up like never before.
And such an unfortunate play. That centering pass from Red Pants picks off a defender, takes the perfect bounce off the corner, and you could tell Begonjator, he was hung out to dry. He's facing backwards. He's got no idea where Anton's going to place that ball, and UConn taking advantage of the little mistakes that St. John's is making.
Oh, there we go. I asked for a little bit of physicality, and it looks like we're going to be getting it early here from St. John's. A very brief 3v2 in their favor, but unfortunately, ball control just not convincingly belonging to them quite yet. Anton now going to be going for another goal for UConn. A second one, I think, would seal the deal in Game 3 here, as St. John's really struggling to put themselves on that offense.
UConn, again, just kind of playing this trap game at midfield where no one can really break through this line. What an angle from JS though, off the backboard to make it 2-0.
Oh, the double tap to turn a 1 into a 2. The magic trick performed from UConn. I mean, it is just going to be an absolute showboat for JS Dyna so far today, here in Game 3 at the very least. St. John's with only 32 seconds left. We're looking at 16 seconds per goal. It's possible, but at this rate, unfortunately not probable.
You're running out of time, and now you're seeing the danger of those passing plays and why UConn's offense is so threatening. Just time and time again, a player always ready, always lurking in the midfield for the backboard. AS Dina, another huge play for them. Anton, that's a tough save, and the rebound gonna get kicked out in front, and Anton with another stop in front of the net, and St. John's will be goose-egged in game number 3.
They sure will. UConn rolls up, they score an uno, they score a dos, and they disappear, walking away from Game 3 without a trace. They find themselves up 2-1 in the series so far with only 5 minutes left here, Soy. St. John's is going to have to give us a Game 2 all over again. This team's got to kick it to just above and beyond if they want to force a Game 5.
And once again, St. John's had the majority of possession, but the real errors that St. John's made were kind of awkward errors where they were making plays on the ball while retreating. And while that's a decent idea because it could fork away possession from your opponents, it also puts your defender in a weird, tricky spot because now the ball is being played into a position that they weren't ready for, and that allows the offense to capitalize once again.
And I'm just going through and kind of looking at the scoreboards of games 1, 2, and 3, and we're seeing a lot of the same thing where St. John's just is not able to even come close to the amount of times UConn scoring on goal. I mean, Game 1, UConn looking at 15. Game 2, UConn at 13. Game 3, UConn 10. And then compared to all of those, we're looking at 4, 5, and 4. So it's like St. John's really struggling to find themselves in the offense at all, and I think a lot of that, Soy, is going to come down to general physicality. I just need more up-close and personal aggression from St. John's. We need more demolitions. We need more bloodthirst, because if they can interrupt the approaches that UConn wants, these passes that UConn so often loves to play, they can stop UConn in their tracks right here, right now.
That physicality is certainly a key. The problem is they have to have that time to get down there in the first place. You're often seeing St. John's, dump the ball in, and then it's quickly, like you said, cleared away by another player who's ready. So this offense, it's got to find a way to stop the ball first, and that's not how you do it. Don't stop it along the backboard, otherwise Red Pants will be there to tap it in.
I mean, the setup there from Begon even rips all momentum away from the ball, and I mean, it's just a clean goal for UConn there. The momentum stolen, such an uncomfortable angle for a player to try to knock the ball away from. UConn scoring within the first minute. That's actually the first time we've seen that this series, where a point is put online within the first minute of the game.
I feel like for St. John's right now, the key is that their defense, it's almost overconfident. It's a decent read to try and make that play, but it ends up putting the ball in a worse spot because of it. The defense just not ready to react to the kind of mistouch, even though going up for it is a good idea. The lack of execution makes it a worse play.
I like that analysis a lot, honestly. I think St. John's may be feeling a little bit overzealous, and yeah, Justin there going to be caught out, goes up a little bit too high. Anton gets to not even roll it in, just flicks it in. Nobody there to catch that ball out. Justin too high in the sky.
and you have to respect the backboard there if you're just in time, but if you don't get up there early enough, it's an easy tap-in, so you have to make that split-second decision, and it feels like that decision either isn't happening fast enough, or the decision-making just overall, once you miss that ball, it just leaves the open net.
And maybe I've got some small brain analysis going on here, right? Maybe that was a complete jump read on the side of UConn. If it is, that is just, I mean, a phenomenal thing to see, truly, because that is an incredibly intelligent play from the side of UConn. But intelligence in UConn, I mean, peanut butter and jelly. This team is good, was good, and will continue to be good. They're showing us that right here, right now. Only a minute 15 gone, but UConn finding themselves up 2-0. St. John's hasn't scored in nearly 9 minutes, Soy.
Yeah, and their offense there, you see just in time trying to get that air dribble. It's a decent idea, had a lot of control there, but again, just couldn't get by the last couple defenders. The defense of UConn has been strong, and their offense really has been a huge part of that because they're just able to maintain so much possession. These passing lanes, I mean, there's so much space for the Huskies to work with. The Red Storm has been forced back into their box for so long, and even there, again, Primal cutting back on the ball, forks away possession from one, but it allows JS Dina to get a read on the ball.
The opening for St. John's appears for just a moment, and Red Pants, right place, right time, catching it back out. Justin, huge disruption, huge physicality. That's exactly what I want to be seeing from St. John's right now, Soy. That was an incredible play. Great communication and coordination to put that first point on the board. Look at that bump from Justin, leaves the goal wide open. I want to see St. John's play just like that for the next 3 minutes.
The patience from Begonjader right in the middle. He catches that ball. He's got all the space in the world, and the entire UConn defense loses Justin on the back line, which allows for that play to open up. And now he's got a chance in front, but JS Dina beats into the ball. But it's like you said, the physicality is something that's been lacking from St. John's in the past. Now we're starting to see it, and now their offense is starting to come alive.
The offense finally getting time to breathe, getting time to show itself. So long of this series has been UConn large and in charge, forcing St. John's into the defensive boot. And St. John's now finally getting to stretch their wings a little bit, trying to take flight. Can they find that second goal? Soy, only 2:20 remaining. A second goal to tie things up. Justin gets caught out there. A great flip there from UConn. I didn't catch the player, but I love the intelligence there to flip off to the right side, catch that player out, and continue to move that ball towards St. John's goal. And a red place, right time, knocking it directly back toward the goal of St. John's. Primal coming through in the center field, but Anton, what a great setup. Do we see the triple tap in? No! Justin is going to be there to catch it out once again.
Huge save, and with just under 2 minutes remaining, too, St. John's are starting to find their footing. You can see the pace of play in their favor. They're trying to make these quick decisions. They're forcing UConn to dish the ball quickly, and it means that those passing lanes that they're finding, or that they were finding before in this series, aren't going to be there unless they find a hard read on a 50-50.
Anton moving in now, looking for the opportunity to strike. Begon catching it off the side of goal. Red Pants with that secondary attempt, a 3v3. St. John's forced back into that insane defense. They just need to be playing hard defense, not even thinking about offense for the time being. 80 seconds left on the clock. St. John's needs one more goal to tie things up, perhaps even force a Game 5 of UConn. Desperate to make sure they do just that. Do not do just that.
There's the bump in front on Red Pants, and the shot on the crossbar. The rebound in front. Red Pants is there to get it away, but Primal forces that one back on, and Anton is there along the goal line once again to make the save. The pinch goes in their favor. Red Pants down in front, and he'll tap it in himself to make it 3-1.
I don't think I've ever seen a play turn so aggressively against a team. St. John's kissing the goal with the crossbar had decided enough was enough. It bounces off and away. UConn immediately picks it up, and Red Pants walks it in. Unfortunately, the dream of a Game 5 becomes a lot less likely here, Soy. 52 seconds left on the clock. St. John's down by 2 here in Game 4. Red Pants has decided enough is enough and wants UConn to walk away with that 3-1 victory.
What a huge game from Red Pants when UConn needed him the most. Anton stepped up. JS Dina had a huge game in game number 2, or victory number 2 for UConn. And now Red Pants has come alive, capitalizing on all of the little mistakes that this defense of St. John's has made.
St. John's 25 seconds left to keep the dream alive. They have to score not once, but twice, and doing that against a team like UConn is incredibly difficult. 1 goal per, 8 seconds right now. Definitely not feeling possible. And I've got to say, St. John's, win or lose, This team came out and gave us a much stronger performance than I expected, if I'm being honest. I thought UConn was going to be able to walk away with this one easily. St. John's fought tooth and nail every single second of every single game.
Although they lose, like you said, this is one of the better losses that they've taken in the EGF. This team really is playing on fire. They just haven't gotten it all together sometimes in these key weeks. In UConn, this was a massive victory for them. I believe this victory, the fact that it gets them to 10 wins on the season, secures them a spot in the national bracket.
10 wins on the season, so my goodness, there are not many teams that get to say something like that. That is a sight to behold, truly. 10 on the board is incredible, to say the very least. And I believe we're going to be throwing it to a super short break so we can get an interview with somebody from UConn. So everybody use this time, get up, use the restroom, get a little snack, do whatever, but come right back here because we have 3 more series of Rocket League for you in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you soon.